what is your general take on professional bodybuilding?
I think that it is getting exciting again. I think that the fact that Kai Green didn't compete this year really did hurt things. I think that which is good. I think it's nice that somebody actually has enough power nowadays that it did make a difference. You know, it did make a difference that he didn't compete.
I left the Mr. Olympia. I don't even remember what it was about. I don't remember. You know, I remember that Dexter Jackson was second place. That was huge. I remember that Phil Heath won his fifth. But there's no subplots, there's no storylines, there's nothing memorable. I couldn't tell you who had the best routine. I couldn't tell you a song that they used at the Olympia. That's gone. We've lost it.
So in my era of bodybuilding, the judges scored you lower if you didn't have that ability to do a vacuum, you didn't have the ability to keep your waist small. So the biggest I could be is 220, 225, you know, and that was really big. You know, Lee Haney was 246, 250. That was really big for him. Now bodybuilders at Lee Haney's height, you know, 6 foot, are competing at 300. Guys at 5'9" are competing at 250, 260. But when you look at their physiques, their waists are a lot thicker. They can't keep their gut in. They can't do a vacuum. If you ask them to do one, they can't do one. So the aesthetics have changed.
What is recently taking place, you know, with the classic physique division, which is really they say old school bodybuilding, it has made a comeback now because the public wanted to see more of that. And that's where I come from. That's where Arnold come from. That's where Frank Zane come from. That's where Rick Gaspari, Lee Labrada, you know, Muhammad McCalloway, the Robbie Robinson, the most beautiful physiques in the world come from that. And we had to build our physiques in such a way that the symmetry and the balance was always the main focal point. It wasn't all about mass and size.
That open class kind of changed a little bit as far as like the symmetry and stuff like that, and away from the mass monsters. People are still going to want to see mass monsters. They want to see the biggest guys around.
Everybody always wants to see the big monsters. It's just like with cars. They want to see the fastest cars. They want to see the biggest and best bodies.
It runs its course because there is a price to pay. And I've been to too many funerals of guys that played the size game. Nasser El-Sambadi is dead. Art Atwood, former national champion, is dead. Don Youngblood, a Masters Mr. Olympia winner in 2001, is dead. They're all cautionary tales to me when I see a person push the envelope in the name of size. Pushing that envelope, there's going to be a price to pay. And I wouldn't trade one day to be in Ronnie Coleman's shoes with those 8 Sandow trophies to have the physical body that he has today. Because what made him is what broke him.
Originally, bodybuilding was made for health and fitness. You trained in the sun at the beach, you ate healthy, and you had a nice body. There weren't much drugs involved. Now it's about how many drugs you can take, how big you can get, how disgustingly oversized you can get, and it's not healthy like it used to be. It does take a lot of work. Hats off to them. It takes a lot of work to get big. But so many of them look alike. The delts and the arms and all that, they're huge and they're ripped. They all look alike, so you know they're all on something really unique to get that size.
No, absolutely not. I mean, everybody blames it on growth hormone and insulin. Look, I took more growth hormone and insulin than the next guy. I mean, I took tons of that stuff for years. I brought my waist down to a 27.25 this year to compete in physique. So if it's legitimately organ growth, there's no way my waist would have come down to that again. Now, I've had my waist up to a 40-inch waist before, where my stomach was completely bloated. Now, why was it a 40-inch waist? I was eating 10 meals a day and like 9,000 calories, trying to jam down 9,000 calories, which I probably successfully get 7,000. You eat 7,000 calories worth of clean food, your stomach is going to stick out.
It's up to the judges what what they reward is what the rest of the competitors are going to aspire to look like, right? So the guy before me, who was Mr. Olympia, was Lee Haney. And Lee Haney had a great physique, little waist and wide shoulders and all that, but the main reason he won, it was just so much bigger than everybody else. Had more muscle, So that was my bar that I had to overcome. I had to get bigger than Lee Haney, and then Ronnie had to be bigger than me. And there's not many people out there that can be bigger than Ronnie. I don't think in shape. We haven't found that guy yet, So
I know that there's no way that the classic physique is going to take over because of the weight that they put in. The weight limitations. I'm sure they're going to change it like they did with the 202 and then it was 212. They're for sure going to have to change it because what the classic physique weights aren't even what they weighed back in the golden age bodybuilding. I mean, somebody was saying like, oh, your dad would be doing classic physique if he was competing today. And no, there's no way. My dad was like 240 pounds. I think like the the height to weight limit for the classic division is nice, and it's going to get the NPC and the IFBB a lot of more money because now you have more entrance fees, you have a lot more people doing shows, and we all know that that's how bodybuilding is, funded, is through amateur shows. So you'll get a lot of that, but there's never going to be a time where you're going to have any bodybuilder that wants to look like a classic physique guy more than like Shawn Ray and Phil or Dexter. It's just not. It's not going to happen.
No, that's not true. I'd rather stay a little bit smaller and stay a little bit healthier and still look good in my clothes than to be another 40, 50 pounds heavier and look ridiculous. Because the general public doesn't accept it anyway. They think, look at that freak.
I agree. Because back when Schwarzenegger was competing, guys wanted to look like that. Okay, guys were saying, "Wow, man, look at that. That looks fucking good." And chicks wanted to bang that. You know what I mean? If you showed a picture of Jay Cutler, like most girls would be like,
"No, I find him pretty disgusting.
He's too big.
A little too muscular.
He's really big, and I feel like he would crush me."
Then you show him Sadiq, then he'd be like, "Well, I'd fucking bang that." You know what I mean? I just think that the classic physique is actually going to, the next Arnold Schwarzenegger, the next real star that maybe goes into movies and everything, is going to come out of classic physique, I think, or physique, because bodybuilding, nobody. How are you gonna have Jay Cutler play a superhero? And it ain't happening. You ever see these guys that can't even walk right?